Okay guys, pay attention how my blade's angled when I come into the dirt. I got it angled and I got it up on the finished product side. It's up a little higher and it's angled back to the left to let that dirt, I'm letting that dirt vent. Whatever the tractor won't push, I'm just letting it roll off the unfinished product side, and I'm keeping my right side high. You see how I run out of dirt right there, and you see me straighten the blade back out. So I'm keeping my blade high on the finished product side, and or the closer to finished grade side. I'm keeping it high there. That way I'm not affecting anything I've already done, and I'm letting the dirt that's too much. If it's too much dirt, I'm just letting it bleed off onto the side that I'm going to push next. See how I got a heavy angle on it there? It's because I was trying to make sure the dozer would push on through it. So what you got to do, you got to set it where it'll, you can push through, keep your tracks flat, keep your machine flat, and it'll just bleed off. That's what you're doing. The dirt's got to go somewhere. If the machine won't push the whole mound, it's got to go somewhere. So you throw your blade at an angle, you angle it left in this case and down. I've got it angled down on the dirt pile side, and you'd be surprised how level it comes out just from pushing through it. I mean, it takes a little practice, but so each time I push here, my blade is angled to the left and down on the left, and the pad that I'm pushing is pretty flat. So one of the tricks that you learn, a lot of seat time. That's when it comes with a lot of seat time, and you wind up not having the little dirt tails, dirt fans on both sides of your blade. So you just have it on the one side, which makes dozer work much faster. You can run right through it a whole lot quicker that way. Like I said, it takes a lot of seat time, but just these little tips right here, if you're trying to learn, will cut hours and hours and hours off your seat time, that it requires to learn it. There again, you can see I'm loading that left side and I'm keeping the right side high. And you see behind the dozer, there's not a high side, or there's not a, what would you call it, like a dirt ridge on the right side of my machine, like you'll see with a lot of people. I'm no pro or anything, but I've got a lot of seat time, and just trying to give you some tips and things that may cut down your learning curve if you're new to this, because it can be frustrating, very frustrating, especially when you get a good push and then you come along beside it on the next one and mess it up. It's very frustrating, and the bigger the area gets, the harder it gets. So, pretty much anybody can scrape off a little area and make it work, but when you get a big area, that's when you really find out how good you are at it or how bad you are at it. So I'm sure some of you are going to notice that the pond's not finished on the side where I'm pushing, and the slopes aren't done and it's not shaped. And that's by design, because I'm not exactly sure how much dirt I'm going to need in this area where I'm pushing. So what I did, I stopped with my sloping and shaping, and I just went ahead and decided to push all this dirt out and fill in my holes. That way, if I do need more dirt, I don't have to go back and reshape again and re-slope again and try to do it the length of the pond. So by doing this right behind where the dozer's at right now is a little bit low. And I just don't have the material to fill it with the dozer, not without regrading everything. So that's the reason that I do it that way. It's to give me one more opportunity to move a little bit of dirt around and not have to actually regrade the whole place. And you're going to see in a few minutes I'm going to get the dozer out of the way, and I'm going to start pulling that corner out right there and putting a slope on it, and that dirt's going to get set in that hole behind the dozer on the leading edge, and that gives me a good opportunity to push through it, and I can grade it off pretty easy. So it sounds like it's a slow process, but it's really not once you get it worked out. You can make it slow, and I have done that before when I was a lot younger and didn't think things through as much. I would have pushed it with the dozer and back drug it and all that, tried to fill the hole with the dozer. But I learned to just be patient, try to pick out where they are, and save a little bit of dirt, and that's what I'm going to get out of my slopes here, and I'm going to fix that hole by just setting dirt, like I said, on the leading edge of it. A lot of times people will start out, they'll want to set the dirt in the hole. Like they'll take the excavator, set it right smack in the middle of the hole. Well, that's good and that'll work, but it's hard to finish it with a dozer when you do that. So you want to set it on the side that you're going to come from. So if I'm trying to fill a hole in, I'll set the dirt, if I set it on the north side of the hole, I'm going to approach from the north side and I'm going to push through it south, and push it. That way I can carry that dirt all the way through the hole and my dozer won't dip on me, because every time my dozer dips, my blade dips. So just some more pointers for any of you guys that are trying to pick it up. I know a lot of times people rent stuff and all that, and this can really help you out if you get in a pinch. See, I got my blade angled again. You can see it pretty good there. See how flat it is behind the dozer. So, and if you do mess up, if you gouge, like hey, if you dip a blade, because it's gonna happen, stop right there and fix it. Don't keep going, because it's gonna mess you up. Every push you make, you'll be off after that. So just go ahead and stop and fix it. You're way better off to do that instead of trying to ignore it. If you're new to dozer work, you're probably going to hear people say things like, when you feel the machine go down in the front, pull up on the blade, and that's how you correct it. But I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, if you feel the machine go down in the front, it's too late. You've got something you need to fix. So you pick your blade up, pull on up a foot or two, and put some weight on it. Drag that back into the hole. Back up a couple feet, back to good ground, and go again. Because like I said, if you feel like you almost anticipate what the dozer is going to do, actually you do. I know it's going to dip before it dips 90% of the time. Like I said, if it does dip. I mean, if I grade all day, I'll mess up. It'd be quite a few times I have to go back and fix it. But the time to fix it is when you're sitting there and you know where it's at. Another thing you'll see me doing too, you'll see a slight pause sometimes when I back up. Before I go again, you'll see the dozer slow down for just a second. And what that is, that's me getting on the decelerator most of the time in between shifts. And it does a couple things. It softens stuff up for the transmission and the dozer, and the undercarriage doesn't get beat quite as much. But the other thing is it gives you just a split second with that decelerator to set your blade like you wanted. I'll speed the video up here just a little bit so we can get on through this. You can see me pulling the pond banks. Drone's dead, so we're fixing to do a battery change here. You get to see old fat boy catch the drone again. New battery on board, and we're going back to pushing. So the pond actually is bigger than what I had planned on, but I needed more dirt, and we just went ahead and expanded it some. Dirt's actually really good. We're usually in some clay or something. We always got some kind of dirt drama going on, but this particular place here, there's very little clay, mostly some sand and some good feel. It's going to be a fine road. Got the horses going by, so I'm kind of cooling it for a minute. Yeah, the place I'm working, you can come and they'll let you ride a horse. It's really cool, and they do several horse rides a day. I mean, this happens all day long, so it's really neat. Get to see a little overview while I'm moving the drone around and waiting on the horses to pass. You can see the progress. Now you can see the road good from there. You can see the pond pretty good, so looks totally different from the air. See the section there that I hadn't finished. I've sloped most of the pond. It's already been done. Okay, I've went about as far as I can go with this. Gonna go swap machines and get the excavator, and we're gonna pull some banks. Made a couple trips around the berm with the dozer. I didn't spend a whole lot of time with it. I'm basically out of time today. Gotta go get my kids. But this is how far I got. So I had a bunch of holes and a bunch of dirt here this morning. And pulled all the slopes on the pond and got the dirt pretty much in a rough place anyway. So this is the ditch right here to the right. Pond berm here. And the road's gonna be there. Got a little bit of extra dirt for it today. And next week we're going into buffalo pen. And here's the other view. It's getting close. Getting close. If we get out of this corner, we'll make some time. It's been wet down here, so.